দেড় মাস আগে ফ্লাইট পরিচালনার পূর্বে হজরত শাহজালাল আন্তর্জাতিক বিমানবন্দরে ইমিগ্রেশন প্রক্রিয়া করার সময় গালফ এয়ারের পাইলট মোহাম্মদ ইউসুফ হাসান হঠাৎ অসুস্থ হয়ে পড়েন। পরে তাকে নেওয়া হয় রাজধানীর ইউনাইটেড হাসপাতালের জরুরি বিভাগে। সেখানে কার্ডিয়াক কেয়ার ইউনিটে চলে পাইলট ইউসুফের চিকিৎসাধীন অবস্থায় তার 4 বার হার্ট অ্যাটাক হয়। এনজিওগ্রাম করার পর তার ধমনীতে একটি ব্লক ধরা পড়ে। ওই হাসপাতালে ইউসুফের যথাযথ চিকিৎসা হয়নি বলে সংবাদ সম্মেলনে অভিযোগ করেন নিহতের বোন এলহেন্দি।
He arrived at Hazrat Airport at around 3:30 and at that time the World Cup was happening and he was a big fan of Messi and he was walking to the immigration talking to his co-pilot about Messi and he was happy. While he was going through immigration around 4 a.m., he collapsed and was found to be unresponsive. At around 4:20 a.m. at the airport, my brother had his first cardiac arrest. At this point, the staff and people at the airport, he received 5 minutes of CPR. His blood pressure was going down. Therefore, after he was transported to United Hospital. Between 4:30 a.m. to 5:30 a.m., he was still in transport carrying him to the hospital from the airport. He arrived at the emergency room of United Hospital around 5:30 a.m. and he did not receive any treatment at the emergency room of United Hospital. Between 4:30, at around 5:45 a.m., he was moved from the emergency room to the CCM unit of United Hospital, which I think it's the ICU and in the hospital. Around 6:25 a.m., he had his second cardiac arrest, and again, CPR was given for 10 minutes. After carrying out return of spontaneous ROSC and ECG showed that segment's elevation. Around 6:45, he had his third cardiac arrest. So by now he had 3 cardiac arrests in the hospital. At around 6:45 a.m., he had his third cardiac arrest and CPR was given for 15 minutes with ROSC. Around 7 a.m., immediate ECHO was carried out on my brother and cardiology opinion was taken. Around 9 a.m., the cardiologist consultation was for the first time taken and my brother friend who was the first officer, the co-pilot with him, who did not leave his side, became a privy of information that he will need PCI procedure and it's necessary due to the critical state of my brother. He consented as a second consent was required, but the Gulf Air personnel who was present there at that time knew that that procedure was very risky. Since the process was risky, the hospital was required to get Gulf Air's consent, which they failed to do so, and instead they called our family trying to get another consent from my brother, not giving him the full information, speaking with poor English that we did not really understand what he was saying, and undermining the massive risk that this procedure would produce. During the call, where they thought for consent for PCI surgery to check for heart blocks, they said it's normal, standard procedure, downplaying the risk involved as my brother was on ventilator and suffered 3 cardiac arrests already. Around 10:30, my brother was transferred to the cath lab for PCI intervention. Upon CAG inspection, they claim they found the left main artery was 99% blocked. Around 11:15, my brother had his fourth and final cardiac arrest during the procedure. He was given 45 minutes of CPR and temporary pacemaker was inserted, and my brother took his final breath at 12:08 p.m. He was sedated during the procedure. Upon making an inquiry at the said hospital, United Hospital, I was informed that Dr. Kaisar Nasir did the procedure, but his name was not to be found in any of the patient file provided to Gulf Air and provided to my family. The report stated that my brother had asthma, when in fact he did not have asthma. When inquired about this, they said it was mistakenly left out. I also suspect that a cardiologist was consulted over the phone. There was no cardiologist at the emergency room. It was nighttime and entrusted the junior and inexperienced doctor/staff to cater to his case. This in itself is negligence, because there was no competent medical professional cardiologist present to advise on my brother's case. 9 a.m. when supposedly a cardiologist started their duty at the hospital for the day. Days after my brother's death, when I made an inquiry at the hospital to why no steps were taken during his long period over 2 hours, they stated that their protocol is to start CPR and thereafter opt for other measures such as angiogram, meaning they followed procedure as a staff, not by a cardiologist advice, because there was no cardiologist. They stated that since he was not in a stable condition, people do not go to emergency room if they are in stable condition, and required high doses of some particular medication. He was given 3 as opposed to 1 to keep his condition under control at that time. They could not perform angiogram, which is not true. That procedure should have been done at 7 a.m. in the emergency room. 7 a.m., not 11 a.m., 7 a.m. There were 2 staff members present at the time of the inquiry, and when asked who were attending my brother during those 2 hours, the female staff member said a junior consultant was present, and the male staff member quickly and suspiciously corrected her, and they started speaking in a language I didn't understand. It's clear from there is contradiction in their versions of the story. Me, myself, I heard 3 versions of the stories.
তিনি আরও অভিযোগ করেন, হাসপাতালে বিশেষজ্ঞ চিকিৎসক না থাকায় জরুরি বিভাগের ডাক্তাররা পাইলট ইউসুফকে যথেষ্ট চিকিৎসা না দিয়ে ঘুমের ওষুধ খাইয়ে শুইয়ে রেখেছিলেন। এ ঘটনায় ইউনাইটেড হাসপাতালের লাইসেন্স বাতিল এবং জড়িতদের দৃষ্টান্তমূলক শাস্তির দাবি করেন তিনি।
I have witness statements and I have recordings, I have everything. So it's better to come clean with all his records. That's number 1. Number 2, I do not believe this hospital should operate. I do believe they should lose their license, because if this is the best hospital in Dhaka, you people are in trouble if you get sick here. And thirdly and mostly, I am looking to press criminal charges against the guy, that whoever was on that shift at staff that neglected to call a cardiologist, on the person that did not call operated or did the procedure in the emergency room and on the doctor that operated on him at the final stage, and on the people that kept, you know, I look at the reports and it says they've been referring him from one test to another, and it says the title, "Thank you for your kind referral." You're referring him to add more bills? So they pretty much killed him.
অভিযোগ প্রসঙ্গে ইউনাইটেড হাসপাতাল কর্তৃপক্ষ জানায় ওই পাইলটের চিকিৎসার সম্পূর্ণ প্রক্রিয়া পর্যবেক্ষণ করে দেখা হচ্ছে।
আমরা একটু ওনাদের যে ক্লেমটা আছে ওই ক্লেমের কপি আমি পাইছি অলরেডি, কাজ করতেছি আর কি। আমরা দেখতেছি আসলে, কারণ যে কেউ তো আসলে ক্লেম করতে পারে, কারণ আমরা বিষয়টা একটু খতিয়ে দেখছি আর কি। হ্যাঁ, খতিয়ে দেখি একটু, তারপরে হচ্ছে স্টেটমেন্টে যাবো আর কি আমরা।
মৃত গালফ এয়ারের পাইলট মোহাম্মদ ইউসুফ হাসান আল হিন্দি জর্ডান ও যুক্তরাষ্ট্রের দ্বৈত নাগরিক ছিলেন। ইমদাদুল্লাহ বাবু, ATN বাংলা, ঢাকা।